Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. From today, we are going to discuss APPSC Group-1 Mains answer writing. The better skill of answer writing comes with the practice of PYQs, that is previous year questions. So, from today, we are going to start a series with respect to PYQs so that we can develop the skill of answer writing according to the need of the exam and clear this mains in a merit score. So, as a part of this series, first we are going to discuss polity PYQs. The first topic in terms of this polity PYQ series is Constitution and its features. So, we have taken a question on the topic called Constitution and its features from the year 2024 APPSC Mains question paper. So, today what is the question? The question is, the Indian Constitution favors a federal type of government. Considering this, what duties the Constitution places on state governments to ensure smooth functioning of the nation? So, by seeing the question itself, few people may get frightened because of the bulkiness. If you see, the question is so large. But trust me guys, if a question is so large, it is very easy to understand demand of the question because it is large enough in order to understand in a clear way. So if you see, the Indian Constitution favors the federal type of government. Before going into the question, let's focus on what are the keywords that are mentioned in the question and what is the demand of the question that they are asking us. So what are the keywords that are mentioned here? That is federal type of the government. And the next one, that is duties of the Constitution placed on state governments. Duties that are placed on state governments. Right? So here federal type is one of the keyword I can say. Next, duties on state government by Constitution. Right? So these are the keywords that you need to address in the answer. Next, what is the demand of the question? If you observe the question itself has told that Indian Constitution favors the federal type of government. So in the demand, it is not required that you need to focus on saying that India is a federal type of government. Okay, so because they had already told us, then what we need to ensure in the demand, we need to write what are the duties the Constitution places on state governments to ensure smooth functioning of the nation. So this will become the demand of the question, right? So here if you divide the question, first we will have an intro. So as you see here, they are saying that Indian Constitution favors a federal type of government. Right? So according to this particular statement, we are going to write our intro. For example, how can we start this? As you observe, there is a personality called Granville Austin. Okay, he famously described Indian federalism as cooperative federalism. What does a cooperative federalism mean? It means that a system designed in a balanced way between regional autonomy, it is G, autonomy with national integrity. So here in the intro you can specify about a Granville Austin. He was a very famous political personality. Okay, so here after mentioning him, you can also quote what did he say about Indian federalism. He told that Indian federalism is a cooperative federalism. This will be your intro to the question. So next we will focus on demand of the question. So what is the demand of the question? You can keep a heading called constitutional duties placed on state governments. So this should be your heading after intro. Here, if you observe polity, whenever you are writing some question in polity, we have to ensure that you have to write as many articles as possible, as many judgments as possible, and as many examples as possible. I can say that not even examples that are current relevant examples, I can say. Current relevant nature should be there in terms of your examples. Right? So, how can we start to answer this demand of the question? We'll go in a point-wise fashion. Okay? So, the first point that you can write is you can mention about Article 256, which creates a obligation to comply with central laws by the state government. So, for example, what can we write an example to it? We can write about the recent, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. If you observe, so this Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita was codified by central, but it has been made obligated for all the states in order to follow this Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. It was written in the constitution under Article 256 that whatever the central laws are there, it is obligated that states has to follow them. Next you can also mention about Article 257. So what does an Article 257 says? It states that states must not impede the exercise. So there is no E here. Exercise of executive power of the union. So what does the Article 257 say? States must not impede. What does the word impede mean? Impede means it should not stop. Okay, so the states must not stop the exercise of executive power of the union. For example, if you see the recent Mumbai Ahmedabad, okay, so H comes here. One second, let me take an eraser. Yes, okay, so what is the spelling of Ahmedabad? AHMEDABAD. Okay, yes, Ahmedabad bullet train project. So in this project, if you observe, the states should not impede the executive power of the union in constructing this project. Okay, so after that we have our third point. What does our third point say? For example, if you see Article 262, everyone are well aware of this Article 262. It says that the river water disputes should be dealt by tribunals established by union. So the orders of the tribunals should be followed by states, right? Who has the power to establish the tribunals? The union has the power under Article 262, and the order should be followed by the states. You can write any water dispute example for this. Like for example, if you observe, we had Kaveri river dispute. So this Kaveri dispute is happening between which states? Can anyone tell me? Yeah, so here can anyone guess? See, here the Kaveri river dispute is between Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, right? So this will be our third point. Next we had fourth point. What does a fourth point say? See, if you observe Article 263, it ensures an interstate council. So what is the major aim of this interstate council? To have a deliberation exercise on common socio-economic matters, right? So it ensures that Article 263 ensures that we have an interstate council in order to have a common deliberation between states and center so that they can rule accordingly, right? So this will be our fourth point. Next we have our fifth point. What does it say? See, if you observe, union must protect every state against internal disturbances. Okay, so see, union must protect every state against internal disturbances. In order to protect like this, the union, whatever the rules or acts it enacts, they should be followed by state. Okay, so what if it not? What if it not? What if it doesn't follow? Okay, so what if it doesn't follow? It will make the union to have a, sorry, 1 second, yeah, so it will make the union to, yeah, so if a state does not follow the state union rules in terms of, it is not to, okay, let's take it out, in terms of administration, then the union can have a president rule, right? So the union government can apply president rule, okay, in that particular state. If the state does not follow the union in an administrative level according to the constitutional regulations, right? So we have written, if you observe, we have written 5 complete points by ensuring that each point has articles and by ensuring that each point has an example. So this ensures that you will have a complete set of points in terms of your demand. So what can be the conclusion? What can you write in conclusion? You can write some sort of judgment in terms of conclusion. So what judgment you can write? As if you observe in this question, we never ever written a judgment, right? So here in conclusion we can write about SR, yes, SR Bombay versus Union of India case, because it has said that federal feature is a part of basic structure doctrine, right? Basic structure doctrine. Okay, so you can mention this in your conclusion, so that, as I told you, that in polity, while you are writing your questions, you need to ensure articles are met, judgments are met, and examples, that two current relevant examples are met. Okay, so before concluding, let's recap once like what we have written. Okay, so as I told you, whenever you read a question, you need to understand what are the keywords. So have we read everything about keywords, like we have discussed federal type, and we also answered the duties of on state government by constitution. Okay, so the keywords were met. Whatever the demand, did we address the demand in a proper way? So we have addressed our demand fair enoughly by ensuring that we mention in every point an article and an example of current relevance. So we have written an answer in a proper way, we can say that. So trust me guys, if you ensure this type of answers in polity, you can fetch good marks in political paper, that is polity paper. Okay, thank you.